Hello and welcome to QubitMonk. Joining me today is Akhil Tripathi. He's a co-founder of SciAstra, entrepreneur, mentor, and an IISER alumnus. He's building one of India's largest science communities and helping students navigate research careers. At the same time, he represents a new generation that is questioning the realities of India's research system, its infrastructure, its challenges, and bringing awareness to what needs to change. This conversation is also about that larger shift where young people who are not just following the system but thinking critically about it and working towards improving the research ecosystem with a sense of purpose and optimism. So, this is going to be a wide range conversation. We'll be talking about his journey, the work being done through SciAstra, and some of the key issues around research that it aims to address. Let's get into it. Okay, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Chandana, for having me.
See, when I was looking at what are the things that you have done and going through your resume, I was like, okay, if I'm a student who is listening to the Sci Astra, if I'm pronouncing it rightly for the first time, how would you, as a co-founder, explain it to me? What is the vision of Sci Astra?
Yeah, SciAstra is India's largest science and research community. So we want to make SciAstra when in future in India, any student think about science, they get to hear science as a synonymous of SciAstra. So we want students to help them develop the scientific temperament, curiosity driven learning. We do not want to promote students in this rat race of coachings, like getting into class 11th, taking biology and physics is only about getting into a engineering and a medical college. So we want to set a direction, set a path for the students. By it starts with creating an awareness and eventually helping them to make informed career choices, pursuing their interest in sciences. So our journey, how it starts, if they are in class, let's say sixth, we partner with schools to help them train their STEM teachers. Like we work with tier 3 towns, schools to make their learning, their STEM learning engaging, like giving them the pedagogy that even some of the tier 1 schools do not have. So we start with grassroots level from school education to help them getting into the college. We are the biggest platform in India for getting into top research institutes like ISC, IISER. You were part of NISER, my alma mater, all these top research institutions at the UG level. And after getting into the college, we help them in getting internships, in a job, getting PhD, and to be present in the entire lifespan of a science student. This is our vision.
You said something interesting. You said you're focusing on tier 3 cities. So I want to know what was your goal? Like, why did you focus on like tier 3 cities?
Yeah, so like when I go to a tier 1 Delhi public school campus, I interact with those students. On other side, when I interact with a tier 3 school, even the top school of the town, in a tier 3 town, the difference is enormous. Here, the students are doing project based learning, they are working on fancy stuffs, but there the students lack the even the basic understanding of science. All they are doing, even their toppers, all they are doing is mugging up things to get good marks in board examination. So the education should not be only about getting good marks, getting to a competitive exam, cracking them, but not holistic development. Like, and I do not want everyone to become scientists, but I want students to have that scientific temperament to be ready for the challenges that they are going to have in the future. And the need, what we feel, the problem, like in schools like with which I work on, even the member of parliament of my district is one of our client. So like this school we are transforming, and in a year they have seen a like great response from the students, from the like not like and whatever we do in SciAstra. So generally what happens na, science people, they are said to be like, you talk about lot of fancy stuffs, but you do not have a business sense. Yeah, like you do not, you want donation from the government, from the people to run your show. You do not think about business. But what makes Astra different is that whatever we do is self-sustainable. we are clocking a 9-figure revenue. Like we will be clocking this year, and everything like in the last 5 year we have like about 65 people in our full-time payroll, 120 people in our part-time payroll. Like monthly, we process salaries for about 200 people. Everything we have done it from the college hostel till date without a single rupee of investment from anyone. Everything we have done it bootstrap. So like even the schools, we even help them to get more admissions, like showcasing their innovative curriculum, the work they are doing. They are getting admissions like never before they had in their history of the schools, like the schools we work on in. So like we want to solve a real problem, helping all the stakeholders, and we have a business sense. Like before jumping into anything.
Now, tell me this from your experience. When you compare the students from a tier 3 city versus tier 1 city, besides the awareness they have, do you find any differences in intelligence as such? Like, can we say, okay, if he's from a tier 1 city, then he's more intelligent compared to a tier 3 city? Can we make such claims? Like, what do you see the differences in terms of intelligence that these two sectors
See,
have?
the ninth class student, which seems to me like a very smart kid, like he's a very intellectual, like he is working on an AI project. Like what I think, like it is more like the journey through which that student have went through. Like his parents are much more aware. Like the schooling starting from the his nursery to like the like sixth class, eighth class, middle school, the level of like education what they both have received, na tier 3 and a tier 1 student. Like at that level it seems to be like difference in the intellect, but that intellectual difference what I believe have become because of the gap that they get when they step into the school from the early days of their schooling. So like things at that level, like if we talk about 9th 11th, yeah, there is a drastic difference between like the intellectual, even the capabilities, the thought process between both of the students. But that gap have become because the roots are totally different, the exposure is totally different for both of them.
So the idea that you have is like very visionary. It's not like something like a startup that is found just to make money and like mint money and you become rich, but it has a very intricate idea to make sure that all students know what they're doing when it comes to science, and then they're rightly counseled, guided, so that they take the right choices in their life. I'm curious, like you were at nicer. What you did 24 hours per day is like study, study. But then all of us, like for example, I besides research, I don't think so. I thought anything besides research and doing physics. It was all about okay, I should understand this topic, that topic, how to do this experiment, that experiment. But like, what was this? How did this thought origin in your mind? That okay, we should start something like this. That you started when you were in your third year. So I'm very curious. How did this visionary idea started?
Yeah, so the journey started when we went to Niger. The one thing always taunt us, like when we were talking, when you mentioned like the IISER, you find it very hard to describe people what IISER is actually. Huh? Same is for us for Niger. Even for Niger, they will think like IIT and IT. What a difference is there in terms of IISER and Niger. What made us easy to explain them is that we used to tell them. I even come from a very rural background in eastern part of Uttar Pradesh. Like in, I do not know till now anyone have went to Niger after so many years graduating from the place from my district also. So like for them it is like totally a different thing. Like they find it very difficult. So what we used to tell people is that Niger is funded by the Department of Atomic Energy. It's a Bhabha Atomic Research Center institution. So we used to tell people know about BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So there is a college of Bark. I am studying there. So this was all our introduction. So when we went to the campus of Niger, like one thing, I was very passionate about biology. I do not have any business background. Like in my, even in my wildest of the dreams, I had never thought of like doing some business, running a company. Like our expectations were like my expectation, like getting into NISER, like to just like any NISERite, it will be like to uh, have two times of bread and butter, have a good life, enjoy the research and all. I was not that much my thoughts were not that much difference when it comes. I was not also very much aware about everything. Just most of like most of the students after getting into IISER, we do not know. We used to follow our seniors, try to judge like how our after 5 years our life will be about. So like when I got like after first year, it went to second year, then the COVID came and all, and all those time. Now one thing always used to haunt me is like why research, like in our place na government job, like in states like UP, in the entire North Indian belt, you will like a clerical job in government is much more prestigious than becoming a researcher. So this is the mindset, like people want that stability and a well settled life. So always what taunts me, why research in India is so much underrated, and why like people do not know about these institutions. Like I was getting 5,000 rupees per month in IISER while studying. Literally after my 12th grade, I do not have to ask my parents money for my survival. Like, we were enjoying like neither have a 300-acre campus, like full facilities. DAE have a good funding. Even like I have been to invited to like most of the ISERs. I have been to like in the March itself. We also now closely work with ISERs. Let me tell you, like the training placement cell invited me for a 2-day workshop. So like I've been to all these places. Our students study in them. So like in NISER, uh, what I felt like these institutions have this so much funding, resources, facilities, but yeah, hardly people know about them. Like people should know them. Like there should be awareness about like not everyone who is taking biology wants to become a doctor. Like for me personally, it was not only about animal and basically human physiology. If you talk about MBBS, for me, I used to love biology, even the plant morphology to anatomy and everything. But however, I have been told like the in India, like if you want to pursue a prestigious career in science, you have only two ways: either go with medicine, become a doctor, or an engineer. So like this taunting, this always like the why research is so much underrated made me to do something for research. Like I've come to this place, let's do something that the history of these institutions remember. Like there was some people who worked on, and they tried to make a difference.
When you said that you use this bark relation to make your people know about
Yeah,
NISER, I just remembered this incident in my life. So I had been to some place and someone asked, "Where are you studying?" I said, "In Pune." They're like, "Okay, what are you studying?" I said, "It's like BSc, MSc." I said, I didn't want to say BS, MS and can tell why there is C missing and stuff. Then that fellow was like, "What? You had to go to Pune to study BSc? You didn't get anywhere here?" He asked. I was like, "How to answer this?" I
this
was like,
was for a lot of my friends also. Like one of my friend was from Lucknow. He always used to get this why there are so many BSc colleges in Lucknow? Why are you going to Bhubaneswar to study BSc, MSc?
the kind of response I used to get is that I'm so dumb that I couldn't get any colleges here.
In
So I have
Bangalore,
to literally go to Pune just to find one seat. I was like, guys, I've struggled so much to get into this place, but there's no way that they could understand that. Yeah. And also, like, take me back a bit in time. So you said you're from eastern part of Uttar Pradesh and with
yeah,
a rural
a very
background.
famous place, Ayodhya.
Okay. Okay. So revolutionary things are happening in Ayodhya too. So even you're doing some revolutionary stuff in the field of research. Great. So the thing is, how did you get into NICER? Like, was the route easy for you, or did you feel like you needed something like SciAstra to help you?
It was completely accidental, what I will say. Like, we were three friends who were preparing for NEET examination in Kota. So we were like, we saw a advertisement of this next examination. So let me tell you, like, I did not fill form for IIT because I did not know like there is an institution like IISER until I get into NICER. After getting into NICER, I got to know in the IICM, like the inter sports meet that we have, like NICER hosted in 2018. Like there are NICERs and there are more institutions like NICERs. So the reason for us, for three of us, the friends who were preparing for NEET, so we were getting pretty good rank in NEET, and like we were in the top 100 students, and like I was we were very like sure about like we will get a good medical college this year, huh? But so what happened, like we saw this advertisement, and always one thing was ki biology interest aata hai. Like NEET is more like कि for me it was like my brother was an engineer, and for parents it was like कि brother engineer, beta doctor, the best combination. But like for me it was like I do not like mathematics much, like although I'm getting good grades, but like I love biology. Like for me, like I even started reading Campbell and all in my 11th 12th, like in school days only, and I used to love that. So for me it was like there is something I can pursue in neither if I get into like biology, like I can become a scientist, and this will be the best thing I will like to have, like other than medicine. So for medicine, one taboo was also there. Like for me, always like I want to prove myself. Like I want to always like people should think like I have some potential. I am there to do great stuff. Huh? So this thing was always there. Like even for me, like my brother was the topper of the school until class 9th. I was like a average student, and the one of the motivation for me, like I do not wanted to settle to be an average student. I wanted to push myself. So it was one of the things like which can make my parents proud if I crack NEET examination, become a doctor, because it was a very prestigious thing. And 17-year-old kid like me, I did not have even an internet mobile phone. Like we used to have that keypad wala phone. So I was not very much aware about any of these things. Huh? So the reason for us of filling the next examination for was the notice board that we saw in our coaching institution in our preparation time. And like for all my friends, it was like ki yaar, whether should we fill this like 1200 rupees, it can get wasted. I was like, "Yeah, let's fill that." Although I did not have any hope because NICER only had 200 seats, and like in medical you have a lot of seat, and I was very like ki, I'm not that bright ki I will get into top 200 students in the country and get into NICER. So I just fill that form, and surprisingly, like all my other friends, whoever filled the form, only my NEET went pretty bad, like unexpected. I did not sleep that night. It was like something terribly happening. Like when I remember those days, it was like I feel very pretty happy about like that thing does not happen for me. I was not made for that. Like my other student friends, they again took a drop and went into medical colleges. And that year, because I got NICER, I went there, and I did not go the into the path of medicine. So this was like accidentally, and even I could not follow up the counseling first time in my life. I took a flight because like I got my name in the counseling of NICER, and from my place it takes about 1 day to get into Bhubaneswar, and I even do not know by that time where actually is Bhubaneswar located because I am from north, and like I had hardly traveled with a train, like from going to my home to Kota only. Like I never traveled alone, like this in a very far place and all. So for me, I got to know about I have been invited for NISER counseling, and if I miss that NISER counseling, my seat will be denied. I got to know it less than like about 16 hours before the actual reporting. So somehow my brother took a book a flight, and he also did not know like there is a flight direct from, like at that time the airport was not operational. The airport was not there only. So from Varanasi we took a flight to Kolkata. Then somehow like in the morning 6:30 I reached alone there in Bhubaneswar to report. And so it was like something in the destiny what made me get into NISER. And yeah, so this was an accidental journey. So I had never thought about like ki I will get into these 200 students. Like while I attempted even the mock test in before the examination, I felt like yeah, NEET is much more easier than this. If you would have solved some of the next problems, like they used to ask BSc level stuff in the 12th grade. So it was pretty hard for like I totally like ignored like मुझसे ना हो पाएगा. I cannot make into. But when I went for the actual examination, it was a totally different game. I was feeling like, yaar, this exam was made for me only. Like, this is what. So, like, in our lives now, we try to control a lot of things, but this is reality. And what I follow, like, work best for the things that are there in your plate, and ultimately there is something in the destiny that will save wherever you want to go, and that will be the best. Like we say now, like God's plans are the best plans. So I totally believe in that.
Finally, you landed at the best place.
Yeah. Yeah, if I would not have landed into NISER, there would have been no SciAstra. The things would have been totally different.
Also, how would you like to explain your research journey in NICER? Like all your expectations were met?
No, no. Like many of them, I think if you had read the LinkedIn post, so and some of them I talk about like the problems what I face. So why I did not went for a PhD? Like I am a what I feel like I'm a good problem solver. Like I see a problem, I always like even if I went to a wedding, I will see 5 10 problems. I also will have some solution to solve the problem. My mind works like that. Any place I go into, I will see some problems. I would have like we can also make a sustainable thing out of this. So like always it will be like this for me. So like in research, I always usually yeah, this is the problem why like people are suffering. My when I went to NISER, like in like till third year, I was very like sure like this is the path. Like many of my seniors have taken like doing the project, if you get a paper and then trying abroad, getting into PhD, this is the ultimate thing. But like while when I went to my master's project, so NISER used to have a 2 year master's project. So in my fourth year, when I went to the master's project, I felt like, yeah, like this is like slowly it became like this is not the thing I want to do in my life. So in our fourth year, we started with the lab, and I remember like the day I and my friend we joined that lab, we were introduced like there were one senior PhD bhaiya and one senior PhD didi. Like they both will be graduating very soon, huh? And like after 2 years we graduated, but they were not able to graduate. So like situation in India about research, like where we do not value the time of a PhD. We like in all these institutions, like in IISER, NISER, when even the professors talk about, most of them feel like a achievement when their student get into the top colleges across the world. Like they feel less proud about their student getting a good PhD in India than getting into top QS ranking college in the world. The environment what we have in India, like the senior PhD bhaiya who used to help me, saw like he have great potential. He devoted his 8 years of his life doing a PhD. Like imagine you are in your 30s and you are not earning anything. Like in India, after 5 years, you do not get any stipend. That guy, after his masters, he prepared for CSIR net for 2 years, and then he finally did his PhD in 8 years. So imagine, like you do your I imagine you do your 12th in 17, then you do your bachelor's master's by 22, and after you prepare 2 years for your net, you are 24, and then 8 years more, you are 32 and you graduate. And like in your 30s, you're working day and night and you are not earning anything, and what you are getting is the scolding from your guide. Like literally our professor, like she was like the professor was one of the most reputed and having very key leadership role in the institution. And she literally used to I will not disclose the name, but like they used to literally abuse the student on face. Like they used to, like, this is not only the case of Niger. This is when I talk about this on LinkedIn, this is the case in all the top, even the top colleges of India. Like 80% of the not 100%, I will say, there are good PIs also, but most of them are very toxic. They are not they are not good for you to continue spending 5 to 8 years of your life. Literally, they stop you getting the degree because, like, very few good students join their lab. Mostly students drop out in the initial years, and many of these toxic labs in India, if we will get into data, even in the top IITs, in first 3 years you will see a dropout rate of more than 50%. Why students are dropping? No one question these things. Like the mental stress through a student goes in, like you are not giving them good money. Their corporate friends, after their masters, they are earning much more what you are getting from your PhD stipend, working day and night, hearing all the abuse, uh, doing all the clerical jobs. Like even the expectation in some of the labs is like even you are responsible for maintaining the complete lab, for helping the PI for his classes, his personal stuff, their personal stuff, and like everything. So like the life of what I got to know, like what I got to experience from the Niger, was like there was some professor doing the good work, but many of the work of the professors are like garbage. They are literally just spending the taxpayers' money to run their show. They want to get good they want to publish more to get their promotion, to get grants, so that like when there will be more money involved in, there will be more scope for making more money out of those grant and all these things. So this is not like I want to devote my life to. So I always wanted to have like to do something for that PhD senior, like who is in his who is a very exceptional academically, he know his stuff. Can he do something that he can monetize? He can at least sustain himself at the age of 30. He need not to ask money from his parents. How pathetic it will feel, and to empower the researchers in India. So like this was our ultimate vision, and what I am currently more involved into, and my future plans are very much focused about like doing making the research environment in India better what it is today.
Like from all the posts that I have seen on LinkedIn, I have to say that you introspect the problem in a very right angle, in a way where you want to address the problem, and then the way the problems are treated is in such a way that we get some sustainable solution in order to make India's research system the better, and not just, for example, there are many problems even I saw. But then instead of fixing them, I was like, okay, I'll just go to abroad. I chose the alternative. I don't think so I would have like sat and like found a solution. But then your method that I like very much is you're pointing out every single thing from a very grassroots level, and then you're trying to like bring attention to that. Besides that, I also saw that you are like also highlighting all the important researchers that Indian scientists do. And also, like, for example, like today itself, you said you hosted Arun Party, and then how he's the father of quantum computing and stuff. Like, you highlight the right research that we do also, because somewhere at even IISER, I felt there is this thought in the air that India is not good enough. You have to go to abroad to prove your best. Somewhere that
Yes.
has creeped into my mind also, which I didn't realize because I thought, okay, India's research is really not good, and that's why I'm going for better future. I thought, but then after coming here and meeting all the people, understanding the world, the reality of the way it is, I realized the Indian brains are no less than, or the research that we have been doing is no less than any of other researchers in the other world. But then I realized there is this lack of infrastructure, which you always point out, and also to promote the Indian scientist itself in the first place. For example, in my fifth year, I did my fifth year project in IISER Pune itself, and there was this one random guy, first year student, first or second year student, and he's like, "Where are you doing your masters?" I said, "Here in Pune." He's like, "Ah, that's fine, that's fine. It's good, right? It's good, right?" He's talking in a way as if I'm I tried all the foreign options. I got rejected, and that's why I'm staying here. And then he's consoling me. I'm like, what kind of response is this? I chose to stay here, but then I didn't pressurize myself to clarify or justify. But then that's when I realized, okay, there is this unsaid thing that abroad is better. Just leave India if you want to have a better future. But then we don't have problem with the brains, which is the first most requirement to do research. But then there is a very basic lack in the proper infrastructure to support us. And then I think so. Among the youths, are you the only one, you and your co-founder, raising voice against this and like trying to fix the problem that is there? As far as I've observed.
Yeah, like there are people like working in their capacity, yeah, but always it is like it takes extra effort to raise your voice to fight with system and all. Like it is pretty easy to get out of this and simply yeah ignore this. So yeah, like people think about these things, but yeah, very less people I found like who are actually working.
But then, have you seen any kind of changes happening in the system by raising the awareness?
Yeah, so what becomes when you are talking about like people when we are recognizing these scientists and all, huh? So like what it helps in promoting the good work. Like people are it was always like these celebrities, these like the famous people only gets all the limelight. Like and the famous people never includes like anything apart from ISRO. Like people only imagine scientists to be from the ISRO in India. So like these normal scientists, like if you will see like in like through SciAstra, like SciAstra, LinkedIn also have a great following. You will see a normal company page. It will be all about like the company posting their own stuff. And but you will when you visit the SciAstra LinkedIn, it is all about promoting the researchers and the top scientists of the country. We used to always get a lot of DMs like from across the science community in India, like to feature them, like showcasing their work and like getting the attention. And like when these people gets attention, like their work have been been appreciated. Like the people who are very unknown, people hardly used to get them, and many of them have got newspaper features also. Like even many of my viral LinkedIn posts have become like national news like in the past. So like these things like appreciate the science, like the people are getting recognized. And slowly like the this mentality, like when any college I went to, like I hear students like, Bhaiya, like your post made me like your LinkedIn, like SciAstra made me clear about I do not want to continue PhD. I want to like making me informed decisions. Like many you like like you have been to this ecosystem. Many of the people who are doing the PhD actually do not want to do a PhD. They are just doing it because at their time they got to know like this is the best thing they can do. So like making people informed career decision whether to get into the PhD or like to not get to not take this path. Like what I like get a common feedback from these students, and they feel more empowered. There is someone who is backing them. Like I get DMs from 6th year, 7th year like PhD scholars, who are facing these issues and all. So like this emotional support we provide them, like we help them in our capacity. So these things like help is helping them first like the celebrating the good part, and becoming a support system for the problems. And like we are working a lot in this direction in couple of years, like the problems what I want to solve, like we are making products on that. I think we will be doing this mega launch about our dedicated platform that we have made that is exclusively for the STEM community. We have made a LinkedIn kind of application for STEM, and where like the college students, all the science college students can host their events, like a district kind of features, like in an app for hosting inter club events like science. Just you see concerts and all for the famous singers and all, like these fun recreational activities across the country, and these events like what where we are working on, like, to make that distribution, like to solve that distribution problem. So like the community what we developed through SciAstra, we have made it a name SciX. Like it is basically yeah, you can get the SciX. X is the Twitter now. Like we have also got the trademark and all for this. So this will become an one-stop destination for all the college students to participate in these college events and all, and get in the internships, PhD, like solving the industry to academia problem. The LinkedIn is very much scattered, so like that's why like we made it a exclusive thing where the serious discussion about science research problems in the community forum and all, like the stage one app being live, it is available. This SciX app is available in Play Store and App Store. Like the stage two where we will be rolling out this feature is coming in a month, and we are very bullish about like even all these problems of lab toxicity and all, like why this professor feels like he's having some godly powers, because they what have been the traditional mentality, like in India, being a PI, you have the ultimate control over your student. No one can do anything about you. So, like, we want to create that difference. Like, we want to bring that transparency. Okay, you feel like you having the godly power. We will make you that much famous. If you do bad stuff, no student will join your lab. Yeah, the institutions will also take legal actions on you. So like if when you do good part, we are there to support you, help you get good internships, help you get good interns, help you support your lab. So like in that direction we are working in, and for making this change, even making this change more translational, we also incorporated our new venture, SciAstra Labs Private Limited. We have been incubating this to Institute of Life Sciences and Bio, like for working in the biology field. We are also working with government and private partnerships in co-creating industry-ready programs. Labs will be introducing like all the research students in India, and they only mostly think about academic internship that they do in their summer break. So we are planning to make a SciAstra and Institute of Life Sciences, which is a top biotech institution in the country. Like we are partnering to make a summer internship program. We are planning on that, and the industrial partners are the top biotech companies of the world. So like they will be getting internships in the industry direct from these internships. So like in these direction, just like biological sciences and other fields like the IICT, we are in talks with Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and similarly like in all the fields, like the institutions that are working translational research, we are partnering with them in making like in students train them and like for the institutes like IISER, NIISER, we are helping them in establishing their placement cell. So like research में we also want to solve like in the problem research में पैसा नहीं है, like there is no money. We want to bring that, solving the problems of the industry in getting them good talent by training the workforce and making the students more
I
employable.
think so. I'm extremely positive now towards the India's research ecosystem. If not like immediately, I think so. With time, I think so.
Yeah,
The
like
India
in
system will be in
definitely
a
like
good
we
place.
are trying our best. Like in next 2 3 years, like things will translate like the work we are doing.
Because when you said like you are using the SciX platform to like somehow control the behavior of PIs, the first thing
Yes.
that came into my mind is uh, sexual harassment. So this is something this is one of the reasons why I also wanted to leave the Indian ecosystem, because the laws are not strong enough. And when
Yes.
anything happens to me, I have to suffer. As like at least in Europe, especially Germany is known for its such strict laws. I'm like, okay, I'll be at least safe because of the strict laws. Now I'm like, okay, if there's such a platform, then that godly power that the PIs have will be now dismantled. And I see this is like one of the direct, useful, instant, useful factor of the platforms that you're launching. It's extremely motivating me also. Like, I have to contribute now. There's so much happening to make India better. Thank you so much for investing so much of your time in this direction. Like,
Thank
I'm
you.
now kind of happy that you didn't route towards becoming a doctor, but then you landed in.
Yeah, and I would have not been that much happy. Like I literally whatever I'm doing, I enjoy my work. It never since I've been 5 years of building SciAstra, I have never felt like I am now bored with doing. Like it is like ki why there are only 24 hours. Like what I've changed is ki the work I was doing in the initial day.
Have you ever received any help from the government for your vision?
So like in government, like not direct help we have received, but
Hmm?
like the people in the government, they are very much connected with me. Like even the top level in people in the CSIR, I have made good of CSIR. So like and the connections, whatever I have made, it have been because of my in my personal capacity, and I have good connections in the government, but not a direct support. So, like government people, in India, it is very bureaucratic. They are always very skeptical working with private organization in the front. Like, yeah, they are very skeptical about that. So that's why, we have also started our NGO, SciAstra Foundation. So, like, we are doing all the stuff to to make things possible. Yeah.
So you surely need 100 hours per day.
Yeah, that is why that is the biggest complaint I have. Like the time is so less.
I hope you get more support from all the people and help this vision go forward. I'm being optimistic about where India will reach. And also, like, as a fun part of this podcast, we'll be doing now a rapid fire round. So,
Okay,
are you ready?
yeah, sure.
So, are you a morning person or a night owl?
I used to be a morning person, but currently, woke up at 8:39. Yeah, but I do not have time for night out. I only works at night, so it is like the work is not getting finished, so I have to postpone my sleep and then wake up late. But I do complete my sleeping hours around 7 hours daily.
A myth about research you want to break.
Yeah, research में पैसा नहीं है. There is no money in research.
If not SciAstra, what would you be doing today?
Yeah, I do not know. It will be like doing some job and all. For me, it was like when our expectations was when I went to college, like for my family, it was like at least like 50,000 rupees if you can earn a monthly. I also used to think that time, yeah, it will be pretty good. Now, like most of my employees are earning more than that.
Okay. What kind of content do you consume the most these days?
So I'm consuming a lot about AI, Claude. If I'm not, let me tell you, like if I have been getting lot of free time, I would spend all my time uh, making me upskill in Claude. I love Claude, and from their skills to the Claude code to the co-work, everything like I want to explore about. Like I want to be in touch with the all the developments that are there in AI. So particularly, I consume a lot about for my mind I. For like making me charged up to do all these stuffs and getting always I am a person like I rarely get stressed about a thing and feel demotivated about you would have got to know my personality from this conversation. So so the energy comes from spirituality for me. Consume lot of I do not my taste have become I only like bhajans.
If your friends had to describe you in one word, what would they say?
Yeah, like I do not know what my friends thinks about me. But it will be, yeah, I'm very helpful. Like I always help people. Like in a
Okay.
good terms, I will say. Like I always like campaign, and generously I always like if there is anyone is facing any problem, any difficulty, like they will consult me.
From this conversation, I can describe you as visionary and spirited.
Thank you.
This is the end of our rapid fire round. Thank you so much. It's so much insightful and also has so much plans to make India better. Most of us don't have to next run away from India. We can stay in India and have a great life. So thank you so much for all your work. Thank you for your time. And for all our listeners who are listening to this podcast, if this conversation made you to reflect even a little bit about research India system and how the career in research works, that's exactly the point of this podcast. And thank you so much for listening and tuning with us. And see you in the next episode. Thank you. Thank you all for watching QubitMonk. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay curious, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one.